This is FE Peer Review. The date is January the 8th, 2025. Jeran has left Flat Earth, but has he changed? It's my understanding that Jeran has left Flat Earth behind based on what he saw in Antarctica on his trip there. Now, if I'm wrong about that and he hasn't, please excuse me for my mistake. I do think that what I have to say here is still useful. But I'm going to go on the assumption that my impression about his views is correct and that he has changed his views based on what he saw in Antarctica. So I have some thoughts about that. And Jeran, I don't know if this message will get to you. I don't think you follow my channel, but hopefully a message like mine will reach you through some of the sources you do follow. For a start, I'd like to say, if that's true, if you have indeed changed your views, then, that's great. In the face of evidence, you've changed strongly held views. That's the way it ought to be. And it takes a bit of courage to do that, especially when you're publicly invested in it as you are. So very good. I'm glad to see that. But I want to talk about what really matters here. It really doesn't matter whether you think the earth is flat or you think the earth is round. The real issue is why it took this to make your view change, why it had to reach this stage to make your view change. You went to Antarctica with a group of people, including Critical Think and MC Toon, two guys that you've known for years. I don't know if you met them personally before, but I know you've had plenty of contact with them in the past, direct one-to-one contact as well as through YouTube. So I have a question for you, Jeran. If you had not gone to Antarctica, and the trip had gone forward, and they had gone, and Toon and Critical Think had collected all the same material that they did collect, would you have accepted their evidence of what they saw? Would you have trusted them well enough that you would have accepted their evidence and considered it as seriously as you did your own evidence and come to the same conclusion that you have currently come to? Do you have that level of trust in MC Toon and Critical Think? Or let me rephrase that. Did you, in the past, before the trip to Antarctica, have that level of trust? Now, I can't possibly know whether you'd answer that yes or no, but for sake of argument right now, let's say yes. Let's say you would have answered yes. You know Toon and Critical Think well enough, you trust them, and they come back with this data and you say, hey guys, let me look at it. Wow, this is world changing, literally, for you. And I've changed my view on the shape of the earth based on the evidence you guys collected, because I trust you did a good job. I trust you and you collected a lot of powerful evidence. So that would be, if you trusted them, you would have maybe made that decision. Okay, that's the first level. Let's take it to the next level now. Let's suppose that you hadn't gone on the trip. Toon and Critical Think had gone, and they'd collected all of the same material, and they'd shown it to you, and you'd say, I don't trust you guys. Why should I believe this stuff is real? Maybe you didn't trust, maybe the only way you could accept the evidence was if you went down there and got it yourself. That would be the next level. You don't trust MC Toon, you don't trust Critical Think, you don't trust all these videos by people you don't know and haven't talked to. You'll only accept the evidence if you personally collect it yourself. Well, here's the problem with both of those situations, Jeran. You now can see, having been there yourself, that all the stuff all these other people collected over the years, 11 years ago, 7 years ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, it's all real. It's not faked. It's not CGI. Yeah, some of it's been edited. There was some guy did a nature documentary or something, and in order to make some cool outro exit video for his credits, he looped it. Okay, there was one. Yeah, that's called artistic license. He was making a piece of art film. But here's all these videos, video after video. I looked at other sources too. There's one. I found one on Vimeo that was 5 days of it. This one goes, I think, for 5 days. So, Jeran, you saw it yourself. You know it's real. You might have trusted Tune and Critical Think. I don't know. You might not have. You didn't trust all these people who did collect valid evidence. You now know that all these videos that you've rejected in the past, all this evidence, all these people who did all this work and you've rejected it in the past, you now know that what they showed you was valid and correct, real evidence, and you rejected it. These are videos going back years, and I know that they've been shown to you. So your reason for rejecting those videos, because you distrusted those people, that reason has been shown to be flawed. You've rejected valid evidence, and the fact that that evidence is valid, which you now know, is evidence that your reason for rejecting it is flawed. You did not have a valid reason to reject that evidence, all those videos, all those people's hard work. Your whatever reasons you thought why they couldn't be trusted have been shown to be wrong, because indeed they could have been trusted. You didn't trust them, and they've proven themselves trustworthy. Why do you need to personally know people before you can trust them? Why can you only trust yourself when you've been now shown that you can in fact trust others? You don't have to assume that everybody is out to fool you. They're not. Here's the evidence. The world is not out there trying to fool you. All these people were trustworthy and did hard work, did a good job, collected good evidence. There's another one. I watched one of these that was for 5 days. It was quite interesting. Here's a webcam from McMurdo Station. Now, that's a government-operated facility, and you rejected it because it's government and you're suspicious of government, and yet it's valid evidence. It's true. It's correct. It's not hoaxed. You know that now yourself. There's a 24-hour sun down there, and you can see it on the McMurdo Station webcam, and you could have seen it years ago, and you probably did see it years ago. So how do you justify not trusting all these organizations when they've shown themselves to be trustworthy? Yes, there have been occasions, just as with anybody who's ever been betrayed by a friend, there are occasions where groups and governments and individuals betray trust. They do, in fact, do that sometimes. That's part of human nature. I'm sure, Jeran, if you look back in your own life, you'll find some times when you've maybe been a little less trustworthy than you should have been. On the other hand, you'll probably find that most of the time you have been trustworthy. And you are no better than anybody else. Everybody else is just like you. We all make mistakes. Mostly we're pretty good. There's the blue marble from 1972. Don't trust it? Why not? What valid basis do you have for not trusting the people that took that photograph? What valid basis do you have for not trusting those people who took that photograph? You really need to ask yourself, why do you have all this distrust, and is there a valid basis for it? That's at the root of the whole thing. I really don't care whether you think the world is flat or you think the world is round. Your personal views on the subject, anybody's particular personal views on the subject, are of no interest to me. It's kind of, so what? Whatever you think. What really matters much more is why you go through life scared that everybody's trying to trick you, worried that everybody's trying to fool you, worried that you're being hoaxed everywhere you go, and yet here you see that you were wrong. 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 Wrong again. Wrong again. Wrong again. Got the idea? I hope you take a little time and ask yourself the much more important question, why you rejected for years and years all this valid evidence from people who have proven themselves trustworthy. You now see that they were in fact trustworthy. I'm just repeating myself at this point, but I feel like, this has been going on for years, and maybe it's going to be necessary for this to be said more than once before the message gets through. I really don't see the validity of your reasons for rejecting all of this good evidence, for claiming that all these people can't be trusted. Jeran, I don't know if you're going to see this video ever. Hopefully you'll get a message like mine from someone. If you do happen to see my video, I would really appreciate it if you just leave a comment that just says, hey, saw the video, thanks, have a great day. You don't need to share your thoughts with me if you don't want to. If you did stumble across my video, I'd be interested to know. I do hope you will give real serious thought to why you hold this distrust of the world around you. That, to me, is a far more important thing than the details of whether the earth is round or flat and what gases do in containers and all of that other nonsense. That's all petty compared to this business of not trusting people. And yeah, we've all made mistakes. It's true. We've all at times betrayed the trust of someone. That's true. But mostly we try to do a good job. I'm sure you look back on your life and you can say, yeah, I broke somebody's trust, but most of the time I've done a good job and I've been trustworthy. And you're no better than anyone else. We're all in the same boat. We're all doing the same thing. So I'm just repeating myself. I'll end here. Wish you all a pleasant day. Ask you to please click the like button and leave a comment. And on that note, I'll say good night.